If you're the person who's always answering the questions, you're going to get people who never step up. On this episode of the Leadership Hustle, we're going to talk about some of the techniques that you can use to give people back more of their responsibility and give you some time back. Hello, and welcome to the Leadership Hustle for executives whose companies are growing fast and need leaders who are ready. Welcome back to the Leadership Hustle. I'm Andrea Fredrickson, and I'm joined by
Michelle Hill.
There we go.
Hey, guys.
And we're back again, and we're here discussing this concept that almost every manager, for sure, we've run into.
At all levels.
has brought up, because we have such nice people. Now, if you're not one of these nice people, then scroll past us, move past us, but all you nice people out there are probably saying this phrase or something like it, and that is, oh, I'll just do it. I'll just take care of it. I'll just answer that question. It's just easier. I'll just tell them it's just easier for me.
Yeah. Oh, and it's better for them.
It's better for me because I can control it and things like that.
Exactly.
So before we get too deep into this, I can start just spewing information. Let's go with this. You've got a room full of managers and leaders, and you hear that statement, oh, I just do it. Oh, or you see in a meeting that they're answering every single question. What are some of the things that you hear people say as to why they do that?
As to why they do that,
Yeah.
It's faster, it's quicker. I know it's going to be right. There won't be mistakes, which obviously aligns with there won't be. It's going to be right. A big one is it's faster, it's quicker. I
know how to do it.
Yeah, I know how to do it. It's faster, it's quicker. I'll just tell them. And when they say that, I may ask a question of, it's okay if you're telling them. What are you hoping then happens next time? And
they look at you like, what do you mean?
Yes. And it's like, are we hoping that they come back to you? Or are we hoping that they know how to do it themselves? What's your goal? Because one is, depending on how you respond to the question, one is going to have a person they're going to be conditioned to come back to you all the time. And another way to respond to a question is what's going to result in, geez, I can't talk, what's going to result in them solving the problem on their own. Right? We have choices here. But if you continue to choose, what do you think is going to happen? And, or maybe the better question is, I'll ask is, what does happen? Well, they keep coming back to me.
They don't even realize it.
Yeah. And it's like, well, it's because that's what you've conditioned them. You've trained them to come back to you because it's quicker, it's faster. You're Google to them. You're like, you're popping the answer out and they go do it. And we're not teaching them the critical problem solving skills. We're not teaching them or providing them experience in learning, right?
But I don't have time to ask all that.
Yes,
right?
I don't have time.
So it comes out in chat, it comes out in an email, it comes to a text, a drive-by, a stop-by.
It's nonstop.
It's nonstop that these are these questions. And then they get mad. It's like, all I do is respond to emails and chats all day long. I'm like, because you have rewarded that behavior.
Exactly.
And they look at you like, what do you mean I have rewarded that behavior? I'm not rewarding anything. I'm like, so rewards are in the person whose behavior is happening over and over and over again. So rewards are those things you do that cause them to do it over and over again, right? So if you're answering all the questions, if you're solving all the problems, if you're stepping in over a bunch of different things, you have simply said, this is how I want it.
Exactly. Well, and also our brain wants things to be quick and efficient and not have to use energy. It's going to take more energy for them to solve it themselves than it is to go to, you're the quickest path.
Right.
So you've just aligned with how the brain wants to function anyway.
Right.
So it's just much easier for me to go to you.
And I've convinced myself that I love to solve problems, so I'm justified in solving problems because I love to do that. I'm like, yeah, not your job anymore.
Yes.
Your job is not to solve problems. Your job is to make sure the problem gets solved. And if I could put that on a billboard somewhere, I would love to. But the point is, people don't recognize that in leadership, what got them into leadership may have been the ability to solve problems or give answers and take care of that information. Firefight. But once they go into a leadership role, that is no longer their job.
Correct.
And so they haven't figured out how to stop that and how to get other people to do that. So let's flip this around now. So now that you're coaching these managers that are overwhelmed and frustrated because they're solving all the problems and have justified why they're doing all these things, how are you? What do you say to them that said, "Yep, not a good thing"?
Well, in order for them to change their behavior, they have to believe they're the problem.
Okay.
Right. So because it's going to take effort and energy, additional effort and energy for them to catch themselves, pause, ask a question, and then, depending on that question and that answer, maybe ask another one and that one, where in all reality, they're going to justify that takes too long. I should just do this. And so some of it is, first, let's really find out how much time you're spending, right? Because they need to have a reality check that you're spending 40% of your day fighting fires or whatever, right? Do you want that, or do you want that to be different?
And solving problems that are not yours.
Correct. Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Or theirs, not yours.
Yes.
But
so some of it it's. I think it really all depends on the individual, but it's what do they want? And what do they want? What are their goals for those people? And if their goals for those people is that they can, be self-efficient, that they can, solve their own problems and be successful and feel valuable and so forth, then let's try a couple other things.
Right. So I've heard you assign people to do a time analysis study.
Yes. Yeah.
So
they
they write down that, and when there's a bucket in doing a time analysis study where it's like responding to emails and coaching and answering questions, like break that apart.
Yes.
Because all of those things, I can call coaching answering a question, but I can also call coaching, which is where we're going, is how would you like to solve this problem? What have you done already? Getting them to take ownership of the responsibility. If you're answering an email, are you answering the question? Are you saying, let's have a conversation about this and let's talk about this differently. Let's jump on a call. Let's jump on a video. Let's see what's going on. So breaking it up. So doing a time analysis study.
Yes.
Recognizing if they're using the phrases that we just talked about. Oh, it's just easier to do it myself. It's just faster. I know the answer. I know they're already busy.
Yeah. Oh, that's a big one too.
If they're saying those things, there's your sign, right?
Yeah. Or I don't want to have to clean up the mess, because if it's not done a certain way, and so then the question is that a preference or a process? Because this certain way, is it a have to or a want to?
Right.
Because can they have freedom to create their own process as long as they get the results? Well,
so then I think you started going down this path of, what do you want them to do? What's their goal? And so you selected people to be on your team to do the job. And so let's let them do the job that you know they can do and be the employee they can be in the role that they have. Because it's so much more respectful.
Well, yes. And they feel valuable. You're building their confidence. They feel important. They feel included. They feel, But if you're always doing all that for them, what value are they bringing?
Right. And the thing that I hear over and over and over again is people don't want their work to be hard, but they do like challenges.
Yes.
And so with the challenge comes growth. But if I'm doing the same thing over and over again, I am not getting to solve a problem here and there. I don't get to be pushed into a way where I'm learning something new. Then I'm going to get bored and I'm going to leave.
Yes. Well, so that's
my high performers are going to leave.
So now you've gone down the path of the ripple effect, right?
Yeah.
So the ripple effect of always answering those questions, the impact on how they feel.
Yes.
So, they don't feel valuable. They don't feel important. They don't feel they're growing. And they're probably very well not necessarily growing. That then could ripple effect into them going somewhere else.
The good people.
Yeah, the good people.
They will leave.
Yes, for sure, the good people. That ripple effect of them going somewhere else. What are other ripple effects?
So what you've done is whatever you reward is your culture, like how things happen, right? And so what you've done is created a culture of mediocrity. Because they only have to do just that much.
Yes.
And you're going to do all this other stuff. And that's just, that says I only have to do that.
Yes.
And we will get comments on that. We will get pushback on that. But I I know
it's
you have
100%.
watched it. We have watched this happen where I'm going to take all the hard stuff, or I'm going to take all the stuff that is, I get to be the savior of this team.
I'm the firefighter. Right? I'm the hero.
Yeah, and so
unconsciously, by the way.
Nobody's doing that intentionally.
Yeah,
no.
Just want to put that out there.
That's good call. Good call. Nobody's going out there. I want to be this person and be the end all be all of my team because I know that there's a consequence and I'm going to have to carry this burden. But the reality is, we aren't recognizing that we are rewarding the exact opposite behavior that we want.
Yes.
And so we're creating a culture of mediocrity because we're rewarding lower standards rather than raising the standards. I was just working with a group yesterday, and they were talking about how do we create an environment where people are motivated to work. And one of the things that we were discussing was raise the standard of expectation. Make sure that we don't lower it, because people want to be proud of where they work. They want to be proud of what they do. They want to know they're adding value and that they're contributing in a significant way. But if we keep lowering the standards, it's like, meh.
Yeah. They don't feel there's opportunities for them either. And they feel just kind of stuck. And, the one question I'll ask is, how did you learn?
I just figured it out. I just had to do it myself.
Yeah.
That's what they all say, right?
It is. But it's like, yeah, you got to figure it out. You're not letting them figure it out. That's the problem, right? And I'm like, someone let you figure it out. Someone let you fail. Someone trusted you.
Yes.
Now you're not doing
Trusting
that.
them.
Yeah, you're not trusting them. That's one of the ripple effects is they don't feel trusted.
Right. And so not being trusted means I'm not valuable, and I want to be where not only am I liked, but I'm trusted and I'm valuable.
And I feel included.
So let's come up with discuss a couple, not come up with a couple. Let's discuss a couple of things that when we, so let's do the time analysis study.
Yeah, time analysis.
Let's just give one or two other tips that people can use to start going down a path where we're really delegating decisions. We're delegating idea creation. We're delegating more of the information and training people so that we are doing the things that are our high path things.
Yes.
Because these are not.
So I think there's two things. One thing is just talking through and recognizing that there's a difference from the training and coaching. Training is when you're training them on how to do something, right?
Giving them the technique.
Giving them that knowledge.
Yep.
The coaching is helping create the understanding. So where is that person right now? So knowing your people, are you training or are you coaching with them? Because as soon as you exit training, it's about asking, you don't solve it anymore. It's about them, right? And so then it's challenging yourself to, every time someone asks you a question, is you have to ask questions.
And so by asking them questions, they have the idea in their head. They're going to have to think. They're going to own it.
Yes.
And you're also going to be able to build their confidence in that. Yeah. And so they may already have the right answer. They just need your permission, but you went and solved it a different way. It's like,
yes.
Right.
And it's the one thing I do recommend is talking with your team about, there are some things I'm going to work on, because as your manager, as a manager, a leader, whatever, I haven't been as good in really developing you all.
I've been stepping in when I don't need to.
Yes, just kind of I always say own your shit.
Yeah.
And it's just giving them enough information to understand why you're behaving differently. Because when you don't let them know, then they're like, oh, she mad at me? What's wrong? Right. Oh my gosh, I pissed her off. I mean, then they start going into fear. It triggers threat, right?
Yes.
So if you explain to individuals or as a group, own your shit kind of thing, and this is what I'm going to start doing differently, you're going to notice. I want you to come prepared with ideas. And I'm going to start asking questions. It helps them understand that you're coming from a good place. And the reason I'm doing this is because I believe in you, and this is how you're going to get better. And this is how you're going to really be able to grow, right?
And make sure that you also let them know, this is your decision.
Yeah.
I trust that you can make this decision. You don't need me. You've made the last few decisions by yourself. You knew it. It was perfect.
Feedback.
Let them know that.
Yes. Look for progress, not the big wins, right? It's the little improvements when they come to you with ideas. Great, that's a win. When those ideas are, there's some good ones, that's a win. And that's how we also get into innovation. Companies that leaders are just constantly answering the questions or given solutions, we're not being innovative because it's through just a narrow lens, right?
Mm-hmm.
We need everyone's lenses and ideas to really be more innovative, but we prevent that from happening when we always give the answer and don't ask and include them.
So a part of that or something else that touches on that is, let's be clear about when they need to bring something to us.
Yes.
And when do they have that decision-making authority is yours. So that clarity of, I don't want you never to come to me, but there are things that when we...
Yeah, that's our message too.
We want to make sure that it's like, okay, when you get to this point, you bring me up an issue, I'm going to ask you, what have you done already? And what worked? And so, because there's a point in time where it's like, I've run out of ideas, I don't know what, and so we need to brainstorm together, and that's perfectly fine, right?
Yes.
If we aren't asking the question, so what have you done? What do you suggest? What ideas do you have? And then let them make the decision. It's like, you don't have to make the decision if they have already come up with their own ideas.
Correct.
And they just, like, which one do you recommend? I'm like, okay, let's go. Then
Let's do it.
your decision. You pick whichever one that you think is right, because I trust you, right? So being clear about those decision-making authority lines and when to include the leader.
Yeah, and I think it's important when you're transitioning in this, you haven't been doing this and now we're going to change, right? When you have your one-on-ones, so I'm assuming you're having your one-on-ones, that the things that they are, that you're giving them authority to make decisions on, in your one-on-ones, bring some decisions you've made and let's talk about them. Because that's that additional coaching, right? And then you can build confidence. Yes. Or you can give them ask questions to have them create insights for better solutions. It could go either direction.
The other thing that I would suggest is, when you are in a group where you're having a meeting, if you're the person that's answering all the questions, if some question is being answered and everybody shifts their head and they look at you, you're it, okay? Yeah. So that means you're going to have to say something like, what do you all think? What suggestions? What do you recommend? What ideas do you have? Ask the question, put it back to the group, and say, I think this is a group decision, or if it's I need your ideas, I'll make the decision. But be clear about that.
Yes. And don't, I think most importantly, because people say they do that. I always ask for other ideas. But when I've been in that meeting, they tell them, this is the problem. This is what I think we should do. What do you think we should do?
Oh, no.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I had to go there, because I've had some people say, I always ask the people. No,
but I tell them, they tell them their ideas first.
Yes, their solutions first. And
which is part of our next episode about when the leader speaks, they're speaking it from a weighted position, not the other, right? Yes. So in some cases, you need to say nothing. There will be a point in time where you don't have to say, well, what do you think? The group will start talking to itself and collaborating, and you may not even need to be in the meeting.
Correct. That's even better.
Right? Yeah. And so recognizing you don't need to have control. If you have a little bit of FOMO, get out. You'll find out what decisions they made. Somebody will let you know. Don't second guess them. Just let it be, right? So I think, this topic, like many of the topics that we bring up, happen every week.
Yeah, all the time.
All the time, where we've got these nice people who are wanting to make sure that people have fairly easy jobs, that it's just easier to do it myself. I don't want, they're already really busy. It's just faster. I don't have time to train them right now. All those kinds of statements. If those are phrases that go through your head or you literally say to other people, we're talking to you. And so, maybe you want to listen to this episode again so that you pick up a couple more techniques. I know I'm a person who has to listen to things multiple times, just so I get it in my head and I can start thinking about when I can apply it. Yeah, I love this episode. And so if you're that person, hopefully you picked up a couple of techniques that you can use to give yourself back a little bit of time and allow the employees that you lead to become the employees that they want to be.
Yes.
Right? Thanks for joining us on this episode of The Leadership Hustle. And don't forget to hit subscribe so you never miss another episode.